Hello, everybody. It is Sunshine Frost, and I'm so happy to be with you guys. Thank you so much for being with me today. I'm so glad it took us a little bit. We had a little bit of, definitely had a little bit of technical challenges as we're getting these live streams up and going. They're taking us a little longer, but we're going to be streaming to multiple platforms, which I'm really happy about. We were only streaming on TikTok for a very long time, almost 5 years. And then we were only streaming on YouTube, but hopefully this video is going to go out to our Facebook One Tribe in both of our accounts, our YouTube One Tribe, and we're going to continue to share clips of this to our TikTok family. So hopefully we can find all of our people that are supposed to be here with us and they can really enjoy this beautiful show. We're really happy to be having this tonight. So my name is Sunshine Frost, and I am a clairvoyant and medium. I'm a Christian clairvoyant and medium. I always put that out there because it's a little different in as far as what we do and what we get to do. And I'm really excited to be here with you tonight. So I want to make sure that you are taking the time to watch us both on your phone and your television here and later around the world. I've had the opportunity to do sessions with people all over the world, and I'm really enjoying all of the beautiful grace and love and support that we receive here in the One Tribe. So a lot of people, if you do not know me, my name is Sunshine Frost. They call me the Spirit Doctor, and I believe that's just because I've worked with spirit for so long and I was in school to become a doctor. And so rather than working with the body, now I get to work with the mind, which is such a beautiful thing. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you, and I appreciate you being here with me. So tonight we're going to talk about fear of death. This is something that causes more fear and more anxiety than any other topic I can ever talk about with you guys. And I want to make sure you can hear me. I noticed that we just went live earlier and we didn't have good sound quality, so I'm going to wait and make sure. I don't see any of my comments yet, so let me see if I can find I want to make sure you guys can hear me so you don't just get a live where no one is speaking. And I'm also hoping to see our comments. So last time Mr. Sunshine was able to let me know that we weren't being heard, so I'm hoping that we can actually be able to see this and hear this. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get some of our comments. We want to make sure we're being heard. I did forget to put my mic over here. It does pick up the whole room, but I wanted it to have some really good sound quality. So let me just make sure I'm being heard. It's an important teaching, and we have just started up this brand new live platform on a different streaming device, so I do want to make sure that our videos are getting out there to where they need to and that people can comment. That's really important. Yes, sound is amazing. Perfect. Thank you, Lori. I see Miss Lori Blake has joined us. So today we're going to be, I see 7 of you are here with us. Let's see. I'm so glad we have our live viewers. We have 3 from Facebook. And if you're on Facebook, you cannot comment on this live, so I do recommend if you're watching the live program, please make sure you come over to the YouTube channel because you will not be able to comment from Facebook. Any Facebook viewers will not be able to comment on the live. They don't allow it. So if you are here during the live, not the replay, but if you're here with us, make sure you come over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and go ahead and play this on your phone so that you can be part of our audience. First of all, I just want to greet everybody and tell you how happy that we are that you are here. And we want you to be with us and to share this live out, which you can do. You can go ahead and share this with some family and friends now and even later as it's recorded in the live. I'll also have some background music, but I think for some reason this live mutes background music. So everybody that's watching on another platform, we're so happy to have our Facebook One Tribe back. And it's going to take a few videos for them to realize that, hey, we actually are going to be streaming regularly to Facebook because I know that was such a problem for them, missing us and not being with us. So a lot of people are talking about mediumship these days and what it is like, and we're going to do a lot of videos on that. But for now, it is enough to say that we have been doing this for over 9 years. It will be in October. Professionally on social media, 9 years, and actually about 19 years as a full-time medium. So I can tell you right now that I definitely corner the market. And thank you guys. There we go. Let's show his comment. We can hear the music tonight. Yay. So I love this relaxing flute music. And tonight we're going to be talking about fear of death because as a medium, it is something that I hear from everybody. And when I was working in our anxiety, we used to do a show called Mindful Mondays, and I will return to do clips on Monday for those that struggle with anxiety and fear of death, or maybe you've lost somebody and you want to know, how do I reconcile and help? How do I reconcile and how do I help people to feel better? So this is a great show. If you have anxiety over death, if you've lost somebody and you just don't know how to deal with it, this is going to be a wonderful show for you. I think it might be probably the best thing you can do for your mental health. In the last couple of months, I've had more people, because of the COVID pandemic that we went through, a lot of crossings and a lot of young people that we never expected to be leaving the planet so soon. And I think that since we went through that, there kind of fear became epidemic proportions. And some people, they're okay with realizing that sometimes it's your time to go, but other people really struggle with death. I mean, and it's something that they think about, they have a lot of anxiety about it, they're very nervous about it, and death, thank you, Lori, death can definitely be scary. And so I always talk about anxiety and panic, and I also talk about how amazing it is for me as a medium to be able to have read for people that were in the body when we started our sessions together. So they were in the body with us. They were actually with us in the body, meaning that I did readings for these loved ones when they had cancer, when they were alive and well. Some of them I read for when their husbands passed. And then as the years went on, I ended up reading for the wives to connect to their husbands on the other side. And now, guess what? They transitioned, and I'm able to connect to them because their daughters have come to me since they crossed over to connect to both mom and dad. And now I am connecting to the daughters of those women. So we're talking 3 generations of mediumships, and I've probably got 40 or 50 families that I've now contacted. I would say 4 generations, because we had the grandmother on the other side, then the mom passed, then the daughter got a reading, and now the granddaughter is reading with me. So it's just amazing how the perspective, thank you, Andrea, the perspective of someone that has been doing this business long enough to see 3 to 4 generations of people that have crossed over, and just how amazing that is, in my opinion, because it gives us an opportunity to know that death is a part of the impermanence of life. So yes, life is very impermanent as much as we try to hold on to it, and the more we try to hold on to it, the more we are fearful and terrified of death. But the fact that I'm able to be there with people during those times, both when I was in my paramedicine, obviously there was a lot of people that I went through death and near-death experiences, but just being able to be there now when people have already crossed over and being able to get all of those validations. And you know, if you follow me, you know that I did have 2 near-death experiences. One was a traditional and the other one was an out-of-body experience. And so I want to say that it was just such an amazing, thank you, Andrea. I wanted to say it was such an amazing experience for me to get to connect to so many hundreds and thousands of people on the other side, because it really changes my opinion of death. Even me as a practitioner, I still have a fear of going to the other side. I know what's there, it's the process that bothers me. I always say, yeah, I've invested a lot in the other side. I'm sure I got a big welcome party on the other side. I just don't know about the process. But what I do know about this topic is that people get very afraid and they have a lot of fears around death, and a lot of their fears actually come from their thoughts and their emotions. And when they worry about whether they're going to be alone and afraid, that's what really gets people. Is, am I going to be afraid and am I going to be alone? That's where they really, really struggle. And so I want to talk about this because I think that the human brain plays a lot of tricks on us. And because your body and your brain are not the same thing, guys. Your spirit and your body are right now together, and your higher consciousness is not always present with you unless you're calling on it. But the egoic human mind is always active. It's always active. So right now, even in this very moment, the ego mind is saying, I'm not afraid of death, or yes, I am afraid of death, or, the egoic mind is doing a lot of different things to make sure that it stays alive, because when the body dies, the ego dies with it. And that's the reason why we fight and we get so anxious, and the body is telling us all of these things at the same time, because it realizes that even though your soul will leave, your body has to return to the dust and the earth. And I found it really fascinating when I was taking biology and chemistry that your body has pretty much every element of this earth in it. So there's some part of your body that was formed from pretty much every elemental process on earth. If you look at the vitamins and the minerals that we need and everything that our body uses, it's amazing to realize that our bodies are just made of the earth elementals. The periodic tables, essentially, you're just a combination of all of that, and then you're a combination of electrons, protons, nucleuses, and then beyond that, cells and tissues, bones, and then beyond that, we have our nervous system, which are all the dendrites and the neurons and all of the firing and synapses, and then beyond that, we have organs that are just alive with energy. The heart is the pump, the brain is the central system or the computer, and then we have a gut brain, and then it goes on and on from there, and it's so complex and amazing. But then even after that part of it, we have a spirit. And someone asked me on last night's program on our live TikTok show, what is the difference between a soul and a spirit? So I'm going to tell you both of those answers because that's something I've never answered. What is the difference? And I want to clip this, and I hope that it clips live because it's a great teaching. And I actually had to sit with spirit on this, and I had to go with spirit, and I said, Spirit, what is the difference between a soul and a spirit? Do you know what the difference is? Do you guys know what it is? If you have anything in the comments, let me know. And make sure you guys subscribe, like, and follow this channel. And I want each of you One Tribe Warriors to show your One Tribe pride by making sure that you hashtag the word One Tribe and tell us how long you have been a partner with the One Tribe. How long have you followed collectively giving energy and love to the One Tribe? And how long has the One Tribe been the spiritual family and group of collective friends that you have always needed in your life? Because I know for me, I feel like the One Tribe saved me, and I feel like it saves so many other people just being this beautiful spiritual collective. So make sure you show One Tribe pride, because we are so excited to have you here at this beautiful So I want to talk about this today. Your spirit is basically your energetic for when you're in the body. It's your energetic of when you're in the body, okay? That's your energetic of when you're in the body. So your soul is your entirety of your spiritual being. So your soul has all of your information, your knowledge, and your accumulated wisdom, both from this life and any other lifetimes or other spiritual experiences that you may have had. Okay? So the spirit is how much of your soul will fit in the body or is present in the body at this time. Does it make sense? But your soul is basically your oversoul. When you say the name soul, it is oversoul. So it's your collective entire spiritual experience. And the soul is what was with you when you began to individualize from source or God. Think about that for a minute. You individualized from source. You individualized from source. And you went from being one with God into individualizing and wanting to become an individual spirit baby or child of God. Instead of just being one with God, you became a spirit child or spiritual being separate from God, but still linked, but just you individualized, okay? And during that process, that might have been hundreds or thousands of years, maybe more. I know we can't conceptualize that, but think about that, hundreds or thousands of years. And then what happens is we collect all this information, okay? We collect all this information through our learnings and our teachings, and then that's the information we get to keep with us. And that's why it's so important. Because your soul is everything you've accumulated over the years of your life, if there were years, right? Eons is what we should be saying, eons of time. And then at the same time, your spirit is just how much of your spiritual, or I could say physical, but let's say it's how much of your heavenly energy is present in the body. That's the difference between the soul and the spirit. So a spirit is the chapter of a book, and the soul is the entire book. Can you guys believe that? Can you understand what I'm saying here? Can you get that teaching? Is that amazing? Is that amazing? The spirit is what the body is capable of holding. Okay? It's like there's an entire river of water. That's your soul, and your spirit is how much will fit in the vessel, which is your physical body. So that's the difference between the spirit and the soul. Thank you so much for that beautiful comment, Robin. Make sure you guys are commenting and let everyone know to come to the show tonight. We're so happy. So when you are afraid to die, it is usually because we realize that the brain that is chattering, the talking, the brain chatter, the non-stop analyzer that continues to talk in one's own head, which we actually think is us, and it is very much not you, it is your mind. And there's a lot of theological argument and philosophical and even New Age argument about this. Are we our minds? Is the mind the soul? I've heard it be said the mind is the soul. The mind is definitely not the soul, thank God. And I say that with the utmost respect. Thank God that our mind that constantly creates one medical issue and one phobia and one fear after the other, that's always thinking about the worst case scenario and what could happen and everything that could happen. I'm so grateful that the mind that comes up with all of these problems and worries and ruminates over all these things is actually not us. Are you so happy to know that? Are you so happy to know that the mind that is always getting angry, the one that is so offended, The mind is the one that creates a lot of egoic chatter. It's always telling you who's right and wrong, and it's proving points, and it's basically the one that keeps you up at night, telling you all the different things you didn't do that day, or you should do, or you need to do. And the egoic mind is the one that creates all this doubt and fear around many different things. Hi Joe, so glad to see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Marty says, great way to share this and explain it. Thank you so much. So then we have the ego mind. Okay, so we have first, we're going to talk about this. There's levels. So I wish I had my whiteboard. I'm going to be getting a glow-in-the-dark black light whiteboard here so we can teach this. But for now, we're going to say the oversoul. We're just going to use some paper and pencil because I think it would be great. I'm going to draw you like a big, big angel because I think you all are angels. And we do have Bible study other days, and we'll be studying the Apocrypha and some of the other teachings. So there's somebody on here that's very, very excited to share about Jesus. And since I'm a Christian clairvoyant and always have been, and I'm also a minister, we do that, but we don't do it on this channel. So look at the little angel I drew for you. This is your oversoul. It's over everything. So we're going to write, and I think it'll be backwards, but just an idea. This is the oversoul, okay? The oversoul is at the top. You're not a crier, but you had me in tears during our session. I learned to forgive. Amen. A lot of people learn to forgive in session. They don't realize it goes with us. Yes, that's so truthful. Amen. I love that. So then we're going to put you on earth. We're going to give you a little body. We're going to give you 2 legs. I don't know why this looks like one of those Among Us creatures, but that's okay. Okay. Now, in this one, we're going to put a ball cap on your head. Okay? And then we're going to have like a little bit of spirit. So here we go. This is your oversoul. So your oversoul is the collection of all that you've occurred as a soul. So this can be your lives or life. It can be your spirit if you were a spirit guide. This can be your knowledge that you created in heaven. Because yes, we all had knowledge in heaven. It can be trainings that you took on the other side. Yep, there's training centers. It can be mentorships that you did on the other side. So sometimes we're mentors or we have mentors. Mentorships, and then also being in the presence of heavenly people. So we have our heavenly guides, angels, and then we have the ascended masters, which Jesus is the top ascended master. Okay? So all of these things, I know you can't read them, but these are all the things we just named. The life you're living now, past lives, let's write that up there. Okay? So we have lives, we have past lives. If you subscribe to that, if not, that's okay. Don't let yourself get stuck on the teaching. And then we have spirit. Maybe you're a spirit guide for someone that's on earth. Believe it or not, you did do that. And then we have all of our guide knowledge. Okay, so sometimes we're just getting knowledge from the Lord himself and from other heavenly beings. Remember, we have many prophets and teachers. Then there's trainings about coming down to earth, and then we have mentorship programs. Like you might have been paired with a great-great-grandmother or great-great-grandfather while they were on earth, and maybe they lived in the 1800s, and they're sharing all of their information with you. So that might be something that you might have learned in the oversoul. So this is a combination of everything that you've ever learned spiritually, okay? Now, we also have the mentorships and then the heavenly guides, and of course our ascended masters, which Jesus is my favorite ascended master, but I do love Buddha and I love Kuan Yin and many of the other ones. It's not the only one. Everybody has something. And then over here, this is us in the body. And yes, this looks like Grandmaster B. I don't know. He just looks like a little rap star. But the reason I put the hat on the head is because this is the ego mind or ego brain. I call it the chatter brain, chatter monkey. And then over here where the heart is, this is where your spirit is. We're just going to put it. Now the spirit does go throughout the body, all over. So if I was really going to draw your spirit, I would draw it like a little tiny person with arms and legs and this type of thing. And it would be kind of like a little person living inside your body. So the heart is where the spirit kind of starts. Okay? And then we have all of this little spirit filling out the physical body. Do you see that? But right here, and I know it's backwards, but I want you guys to bear with me, the ego mind is this cap that's on your head. Now, let's get back to our comments for a minute. Yep, Chatter Monkey, perfect. You love this concept. Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you, Lori. That's awesome. And Miss Nicole, we're glad that you're here joining us. Amen. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you come over to the YouTube channel. We want to see your comments. Want to be able to see your comments and share them on the stage. So think about this. I want you to remember that you have these three parts. Your ego brain is here, your spirit is here, and your oversoul is above it, right here. Okay? Now, when you're in the body, this part here will die. And that's what people get very, very afraid of, is this part right here. Bear with me. I'm doing it backwards, facing the camera. This part right here will die. Okay? And this is why it's very scary for people, because they forget or don't remember or don't even know. You know, it strikes me as just so tragic that so many people, even without religion, don't understand that there's an energetic body within the physical body. That yes, science has proven the spirit, the weight of a spirit. They've actually measured someone that was dying in hospice on a scale, and they actually measured the weight of his spirit when it left the body. And they were able to look with Curtilian photography and see the energetic of that body stayed for about 5 to 10 minutes after death until it was ready to totally let go. And now we have hundreds of thousands of near-death survivors. My husband and I are both one of them, which was by no means that we wanted to be, just so happened. And we know that this is not a figment or just a scientific phenomenon that people believe they're dying, and when the brain is dying, it has these throes of death, and everyone has these incredible visualizations. It's real. It really is real. We are all energetics, exactly. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then we also have the realization that we believe we're the body. So for everybody that believes they're just this body, this would be incredibly scary. I know it's just a little simple picture, but if you believe you're the body and this is the only identity you have is this one, then death is going to be extremely fearful for you. Okay? But this is what I want you to remember. This is the core of your being, is this little heart space right here. It's called the core of the being, and it's a heart space. And in this heart space, this is where you first individualized into the body when you're in your mother's womb, and then parts of your spirit actually integrate into the body as you are getting older and older. And I like to use percentages for this. So I say 3% at 3 years old, 5% at 5 years old, 7% at 7 years old, and this is the average. Then when we meet a child like Elijah, who has so much spiritual knowledge, you can't even fathom how this child knows the things he does. And many of the other alpha generation kids, we don't know how they know what they know. And these children are coming into the body with like 10% already with them from the time they can talk and walk and play. We're like, this is crazy. You know, these children, they're like, yeah, I'm spirit. I know, we're all spirit. It's all good. We're going, you know, they understand aliens. They understand different life forms. They understand light language. It's amazing to see these crystal children being born on the planet. They already understand this. They're not in the old dynamic where they're afraid. Like we used to be, oh my God, when we asked your, you know, some people ask their grandparents, what are we going to be? And they say, you know, worm food or something, you go to the dirt and that's it. And I thought, oh, what a grim teaching. I wish if no one ever said that to their child again, ever, I really wouldn't know what to do. Hello, Kathy Graham. We're so glad you're joining us tonight. Thank you guys so much. Keep the comments flowing. I love to have a lot of these on our replay for the One Tribe and new viewers around the world. So we're at 30 minutes. We're going to cap this at 40. We want to keep all of our teachings really short. So the reason the fear of death comes is because we actually believe we are the body. And I really believe that if we can actually understand that your physical body is just a host. I know that sounds almost like zombies and it's kind of gross, but if you can think of this as your host body, just think of it more like you're visiting another country and you have a host family that supports your journey. Let's say you're going to go to a wonderful country and you want to visit, let's say, France, and you're going to be in France for maybe a month and you're going to have a host family that's going to make sure you have everything that you need and you're going to enjoy this opportunity. Then I want you to think about that. What would that be like if you could be hosted by this wonderful family? And that's what it's like when you're coming down to the host body. Your physical body is a vehicle, it's a vessel for your spirit. And we'll talk more about how we choose those bodies and did we choose those bodies. But for now, what I want you to remember is your body cannot go to heaven. Thank you, Kathy. I'm so happy you're here from Facebook. It's so good to see you again, and I hope to do so many more of these live. I miss you guys. I love you and the One Tribe family around the world. And as we continue to grow our metaphysical Christianity, also our Christian mysticism, and as we start doing our live events, I'm just really excited to bring our One Tribe back together under one umbrella because it's been such a journey. Okay. So when you were in the body, you feel like you're the body because you've been told for all the years since you were a little kid that you were the body, and you've identified with your name and your height, your weight, your color, your race, your culture, how old you are, what part of the country you're from. Like, let's say I ask you about yourself. You'd say, well, I'm a welder. My name is Dan. I'm Italian. I'm from New York. I have 2 parents. I'm a father of a little girl. I'm a divorcee. In all of this, we just named about 6 quantifying divisions that create our identity. And because we really just identify with the physical self, we forget that there's a spiritual being underneath it. So in that spiritual being, we forget the spirit. Right here, the spirit, everyone. The spirit is so wonderful because the spirit gets to just go back up into the oversoul, which is where it came from. The body goes back to the dust. Remember we talked about being formed from the elements of the ground, the periodic tables. We're basically made of this: copper, iron, selenium, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, chloride. We actually are made of these chemicals. And our bodies, they're magnificent. They go back to the earth and get recycled through Mother Earth. But our spirits, which were never made from just these simple things, goes back, and we integrate all of the experience of our earth life back into the oversoul, and our wings get a little bit bigger and a little more beautiful, and we get a little more glow to our halo, and we figure out a little bit more about who we are. And so each opportunity to come down is just an Earth Academy. It's Earth School. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Robin said, oh, here's a question. Let's see. Make sure you guys comment on, see if you're liking my drawings. I know they're not they're not the most premium, but I do enjoy them. Robin says, how will we recognize our loved ones and who they are without their bodies when they passed? This is such a good question, and I'm going to address it real quickly, very easily. Remember, you've actually been in multiple bodies with the same people. So you're thinking of them as having had one lifetime and one body with you, but remember, before they had their body, you already knew them. So energetically in heaven, we know everybody. there isn't somebody that we know or don't know. We don't think of it that way. You have your spiritual family, which are the people you've incarnated with multiple times. But remember, since there's no body, there's also no division. There's no division. So, you are actually energetically exchanging. The best way I know to put it is you're all water, okay? And without the cup, everything returns to water. So their water is your water, and your water is their water, and it's everyone else's too. So without your physical body and all your identifications of I'm white and female and 6 foot and my name is Sunshine and I'm this, that, and the other, if you don't have those identifications, when you're energetically in your spiritual self, you telepathically communicate with everyone and everything. Everyone and everything. So if that makes it, if you can understand that, then that's exactly how you would address it. Is that they will appear to you in the way that you know them, but they don't have to, is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Do you feel you reunite with your family and your parents? Yes, of course. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. You guys go through everything and laugh at all your bloopers and your clips and your reels. And I've had people laugh at like, oh my God, look how crazy we were. We were so angry. Look how upset we were. We were fighting. Like we were getting this. I've watched people like go over like fights, couples when they were married. Like, oh my gosh, what were we mad about? That's so silly. I can't believe I was mad. Like, we laugh at the things we do down here. We really, when you're on the other side, you laugh at it. It's honestly like watching, it's like watching blooper reels of like a preschool or like a 1st or 2nd grade class, how they're acting with each other. That's how we see each other down here. Like this is just, because when you're on the other side, you have this big oversoul and you know, and you've had all these lifetimes and things. But when you're down here, we think everything is so serious and so permanent and it's such a big deal, and if someone insults us, it'll kill us, or if we apologize, it's physically painful. But on the other side, it's not like that. It's completely different, and we watch our life reviews, and sometimes your kids will be there with you and they'll say, Mom, I want to see your lifetime, and you go, I want to see the embarrassing parts. I want to see when you and your sister used to fight when you were 12 years old, and the mom's like, okay. So we go up and they can't believe that's their mom, fighting and pulling hair and slapping each other over a lollipop or something, It's just, I've seen spirit laugh on the other side about parking lots. That's a big one. People fighting over parking spots, and we're watching it from above, and the cars are this way and they're pulling back and they're backing up and they're freaking out, and everybody up there is just like, oh my gosh, I don't know why they invented cars. You guys cannot handle traffic. You can't handle parking straight. You can't handle parking your car at all. You fight over everything. We're like always 1 or 2 car lengths away from anarchy, is what they told me. And they get the biggest kicks out of watching us drive in traffic. It's crazy. So, I want to say this with the ultimate love. We are not in our full spiritual self, and we at this time have to remember that even if there's a fear of death, it is really just a fear that is made up by the egoic mind or the brain, because the brain mind does not survive death. This is why the Bible says your time is short, because it knows its time is short. So when they say that, they're actually talking about the brain or the mind is short, because the brain cannot go where we're going. Only the spirit goes back to the Father, and the body goes back to the earth. That's right. No stress in heaven. Yeah, absolutely no stress at all. No, this is just a very short journey through a very difficult planet. That's all I have to say. It's like Sylvia Brown once said, it's like a bad camping trip. I would agree with her, but I love my camping trip. I've learned to like Earth and to enjoy being here with the ups and downs, because I know that this is all so temporary, guys. It's all really temporary. And I remember that in my near death, I remember we were laughing and joking about things to the point that I know I've brought this up a lot, but I always say we were laughing like, I'll see you. And they're like, I'll see you AD, and not if I see you first. And we were laughing about this. And it took me about, it took me by surprise that years later I remember AD. Someone brought up AC/DC, and I was like, why am I remembering AD? And then it caught me that we were laughing about after death. Like they were going to see me after death. Like it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't anything I should worry about. Like, it was natural. It was nothing. I would be fine. Robin says, do you feel like we live on after we have served our purpose? Yes, absolutely, you live on after you serve. And some people don't even serve their purpose here. Some people are just coming down for the short ride. Some are here for the long ride. Some are here to learn a lesson. Some people are here just to teach a lesson. Some are here to, actually we talked about this. I don't know if we talked about it on this particular episode, but life is like, your oversoul is like a set of Encyclopedia Britannicas. If you guys are older, you would remember that all households before the internet, which I know this is hard, a lot of my millennials and younger will be like, what? But yeah, there was times when I remember my grandparents had encyclopedias. And if one encyclopedia went missing, we all lost our mind over it because they would be searching for A. And remember, there was a few books that just had A. And this is before the internet, this is before Google, and this is before any of that. And so we would want to have the whole library so we could do research, or we could write a paper or look up a topic if we were interested. This is how it used to work. And so you might have like A for angel, and then you'd have aardvark, and then you'd have A for this and the apple. And if one of your books was missing, we went on the search for it. Well, in your spiritual oversoul, it's very much the same. Your oversoul, your higher self, is trying to accumulate one book for every single experience that you can have. So they want to have A for addiction, let's see, A for abuse, A for addiction, abandonment would be one. So you have lifetimes where you go through these themes: abuse, abandonment, addiction, overcoming, persecution, loneliness, isolation. Sometimes you'll be left, everybody passes away, you're the last one left standing in your soul family. That can be really difficult. So absolutely, these things do matter, and in our soul's review, we are all trying to get the books of our entire library. All right, let's see. Yes, Tamara says, and it is because we are made of energy, and energy does not die. This is why our soul lives on. Yes, so much. We are so much more than just energy. We're God particles. We're actually the particles of God, if you can believe it. There's a lot of New Agers that say, we are God. And there's a lot of Christians that say, no, we worship God. But I'm right in the middle that says, we are of God, but we are not God. But we are like His nature in our own right. Let's see. Are you afraid of dying? I did just talk about this on my TikTok right before we came live. I just spent about 45 minutes on this topic. So short answer is, I would never want to leave my family because I still have a little and I don't feel like he or my children are ready to be independent without me. So yes. Am I afraid of going to the other side? No. Am I afraid of the process? Sometimes I'm afraid of what it might be like to go through the death process. But in my out-of-body experience, they told me that I had done this many times and not to be afraid. And I said, well, I'm so afraid to die. And they said, sunshine, you already did. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, you died to be here. And I'm like, what? And they said, you died to be here now. And I thought, that's interesting. What do you mean? And they said, you died from heaven to be born on earth. And then I understood it. All right. These are such good questions. Miso says, hi, Sunshine. Oh my God, I'm glad you're on. Yes. Some people said I'd rather be in heaven. Miso says, why do we still have war? Because we have ego. And ego is very alive and well on the planet. We'll talk about that in another video. But for now, I hope this teaching helps you. We're going to wrap this stream up. I'm going to start another stream after this. We're going to talk about a different topic. We want to keep our videos short so they reach as many people as possible. And we're going to go to another topic. So make sure you stay on the YouTube and Facebook channels. I'll be live in just a few minutes. But to answer your questions, do you need to be afraid of death? No, honey. You died from heaven to be born here on earth, and death is the easiest thing you'll actually ever do, and being born was the hardest. Leaving your heavenly family to come to a place you already know was in a fallen state with a lot of egoic beings and temptations from both sides, and both as much positive and negative energy. Whereas we went from a place that had no negative energy to one that had as much negative as positive, so mirror balanced. And we chose to take on different tasks and goals that we were not sure of how we would function, and we did not get promises except that at the end of it we could go home to our Heavenly Father. So just know that the body dies, and the brain that chatters endlessly, the monkey brain, will also, monkey mind dies with it, but your spiritual self, the core of your being, the peace beyond understanding, comes through this knowledge that we are not the body, but we are immortal, angelic, eternal beings occupying a space within our physical body for the learnings that we can have here on this planet. All right, everybody, I hope this is a beautiful teaching. I hope that you really, really enjoy it. And I'm so grateful that I got to enjoy this time with you. Stay tuned for our next episode, and make sure you guys watch this on the replay. Make 3 comments, whether you agree or disagree, and make sure that you heart and thumbs up and support the channel and everyone else's comments. Please make sure you let everybody in the One Tribe know what country or state you're coming from, and tell us why you love this teaching. If you want to learn more about what I do, you can always book a free consultation to have me on a podcast, to host, or to even find out about what healings and readings we offer at the One Tribe Center here in Southern California. We run the Spiritual Academy, and we're really happy. My husband and I get to run it, and we have in-person retreats coming up in the fall of this year, both in California and in Sedona, Arizona. We're looking to expand possibly to Florida and Georgia this year. So if you'd like to know more about what we do, or book your free consultation for possibly a session, then you can go to sunshinefrost.com right here at the bottom. And you can also find out about in-person events through our website at sunshinefrost.com. And if you're ever in Southern California, you can book in-person readings or healings at the Spiritual Academy in Menifee, California. So again, I'm just so happy to be here. I hope you guys love, like, and support this channel as we are just getting started with our new series, Spirit Uncensored. And thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you all later. Bye everyone. Have a wonderful night.